I'm going to show you how to make your own version of a tool called Bonjoro. Now, Bonjoro is a video marketing platform that allows you to record personalized videos for your customers. So whenever there's a trigger point, such as getting a new client, then you can kick off an automation where you are notified to record a video. You record that video and it sends an automatic email to the customer and creates a landing page with that video for them to see. Now you can create your own version of this, and I'm going to show you how. So this is what Bonjoro looks like on the inside. You have a inbox-like view with a list of the video messages you're supposed to record. And then under each one, you can see some details from your CRM, whatever you chose to include that's relevant for recording that video. You can also see previous messages and a few other things in here. The main reason to create your own version of this is so that you can customize it to fit the needs of your specific business and build value into your business instead of buying an external subscription that doesn't really add to the value of your business. So this is what we're going to build. We're going to start out with a CRM trigger. I'm going to be using ActiveCampaign for this, but you can use basically any CRM or even just a Google Sheet to trigger it. Then you add that information into a database. I'm going to be using AirTable for this example. Then you want to notify yourself to record that video message. So that will come from ActiveCampaign or AirTable or some other system that you want to use. And lastly, we will email the customer with the video message attached. I'm going to use ActiveCampaign for that part again, but you can use any CRM or whatever you want to use to send that email. You'll also need a video recording tool that gives you a shareable link as soon as you're finished recording. I use Loom for this, but there's alternatives out there like Screencast-O-Matic, which are a bit cheaper. On the Loom free plan, you can do quite a few videos, so you can start out for free for sure. And then another tool you'll need is something to automate all of these tasks together. Between the different systems. You can use Zapier or Make/Integromat or N8N or really whatever tool you use to do that type of automation. So jumping right in here, I'm going to start by creating an automation in ActiveCampaign. So when I get a new client, I automatically tag them with a client tag. So I'm going to go ahead and start the automation by setting a trigger for that tag. Now what I want to do is take this contact's information and add that into AirTable. But in order to do that, I'm going to need to use an external tool like Zapier. You can use any tool that allows you to create and listen for webhooks and then take that data and do something with it, like sending it to AirTable. So what I'm going to do is use the webhook action here. And it's going to ask me what URL to post to. In Zapier, we're going to start a zap that has a trigger of a webhook. So let's go to our trigger, type in webhook, click this, and we're going to choose the catch hook option. All right, we're going to ignore this pick off the child key option, and we're going to grab this URL and go ahead and paste it into ActiveCampaign, hit save. Now, in order to actually test this in Zapier, we need to go ahead and send through a contact so that Zapier knows what to expect. So what I'm going to do is go into my own contact record and add myself into this automation, click OK, and then in Zapier, test the trigger. All right, there it is. So what we get in here is the contact ID, email, first name, and a few other things. If there are custom fields, they should show up in here as well. So now we know what our data looks like, and we can go ahead and add it into AirTable. But before we do that, obviously we need to create the AirTable that we're going to be using. So let's go ahead and do that now. So we've got a brand new AirTable base right here. We're calling it video messaging. And what we're going to do is think through what is the information we need to know in order to record these video messages. Well, it depends what kind of video you're recording and what the trigger is. But for this example, I need the client name, I need their email, and the email is important because we need to be able to trigger to send that email to the customer later. We need a status field so that we can see whether that video message has been recorded. We need a video link field where we post or paste the link to that video that we record. Just for example's sake, we're also going to add a field for who referred this client to me, if there is someone who did. And that will allow me to record the video message and mention that person by name. Okay, here is our Airtable with the completed fields. Let's go ahead and delete any empty records that Airtable adds for some reason, and we can get started. In Zapier, we're going to choose the Create Record event for Airtable, hit Continue. We're going to connect that real quick. So to connect your API key, you're going to have to go to your account page. So click Account and blur all the stuff, and we're going to copy that key and not show it to you. Let's select the base, which is video messaging, and the first table, and the field should show up here. If the wrong fields are showing up, make sure you hit refresh fields and double check it. So for first name, we're going to put in just a full name field. We'll put in the first and last name separated by a space. Referred by, I don't actually have a custom field for this, so I'll just call it John Doe. For status, we'll put in to do. Double check that it perfectly matches the spelling of the status option here, otherwise it'll just create a new status. And you do not want that. Then put in our email, and the video link will leave blank. We'll hit continue and test that action, and it should show up now. Now that the information is in Airtable, we want to send ourselves an email to say, hey, record this video message for this client. And you can use a lot of different tools for this. Airtable has a built-in email tool. ActiveCampaign has a built-in notification tool. I'm going to use Airtable just because your CRM of choice might not have the capability to do this. So this is an easy way to do it. To use Airtable as your source for the email, let's go ahead and go to Automations and create a new one. Before I start this, let me just mention, if you are on the free plan for Airtable, you will not be able to send that email to something other than your account email address. If that's a deal breaker for you, you can always use Zapier to send an email to yourself, which is for free, or you can use your CRM or whatever else you want to use. The trigger I'm going to use for this is when record created. You could also use when record enters view. Let's go with created. And the action we're going to do is send an email. For the to, we're going to put in the email address that's tied to this account. Since I'm on the free plan, I'm going to say record video message for new client. And I'm going to put in the new client's information. So let's actually configure this. And then we can go to the next step here. Let's put in our name from the record, and I'm going to be creating an interface to make this even more fancy, so I'll include that link a little bit later. We're going to create an interface for ourselves. Not really necessary considering all you're doing is changing a status, but I don't really like that you have to click a drop down and choose the right one. I want to make it super simple. So we're going to call this video messaging. Hit next. We're going to use the record review option here as our layout, and it's perfect for this particular use case. For a filter, we're going to add a condition that the status is to do, so that will only show records that are pending, and we can hit next. By the way, you could add a sort here. If you want to sort by the latest record that came in, you would have to add the last modified date field that Airtable has built in, and then you can sort by that. For now, we're going to leave it at the default sorting. And I'm going to let all the fields show, and we're going to call this inbox view and finish. Okay, from here, I want to add a button, so I don't want to have to click on this and change it. I want to just have a all elements button. We're going to put it right here. And what this should do is update the record status to done. So we're going to do add action, set status to done. And then for appearance, we're going to set this to green to make it look like a CTA button. And for after update, I'm going to choose blue, and I'm going to say sent and show the check icon. So when we click this, it'll say that this is done. This is all we need. So we're going to hit publish here. Okay, so to get the link to this interface, I'm going to click invite by link, create new link, permission editor, allow access, yep, and allow any email address. I'm going to create that link, copy it, and let's put it into that automation from earlier. Click here to record the video. The final step here is to connect all the dots so that when we actually complete the task, it sends an email to the customer with the link in there. To do this, I'm going to use ActiveCampaign. So I'm going to start out by adding a new field where we'll store that video link. So under contacts, if you expand this hidden navigation, which is a little confusing to be honest, click fields and then add a field. We're going to call this onboarding video link and leave it as a text input. Hit add, and then we're going to create an automation to send that email. So create an automation. Actually, what I'm going to do is use the same automation and add a goal here. Under conditions and workflow, hit goal. And what a goal allows you to do is make the contact wait until something happens. And what we're going to do here is say video message created, click to add a goal, and you basically create a segment that once they match the criteria that you put in here, they will actually proceed in the automation. So we're going to choose that custom field we created, video, there it is, and is not blank. So it'll be blank unless I've recorded that video. And then it's really important to do this. You want to switch continue anyway to wait until the conditions are met. Otherwise, they'll just go right through the goal. A goal is a great way of getting someone to skip parts of an automation that are not relevant to them, but it can also be used as a sort of wait here until I approve the next step type of action. So from there, we're going to send an email. In here, we're going to say, here's a video for you. This is not the final copy, I assure you of that. And we need to put in a merge link or merge that link in. So how do you know what to type in here? You can find out by going to contacts and fields and copying this personalization tag, or alternatively, you can add it in here by clicking personalize and choose onboarding video link, paste that link, click OK, and there you go. Back in Zapier, we're going to go ahead and publish the Zap that we made earlier. We're going to name it something descriptive. I'm going to say ActiveCampaign new client, AirTable video messaging. Now we're going to create a new Zap, and this is the Zap that will take the record from Airtable once it's done and add the information into ActiveCampaign. So we're going to start with an Airtable trigger. Now technically, if you don't want to use this trigger for whatever reason, you can actually use a script in Airtable to send a webhook request to Zapier. But this is the easiest way to do it, so we're going to go ahead and do that. To get the Zap to work, you're actually going to need to have a last modified date field. So you can create a new field, go to last modified time and hit save. Create a view that only has the people who have a finished video. So we're going to create a new grid view, call it finished videos, and here we're going to filter the status is done. Then we're going to set up the trigger, choose our video messaging base, our table, and choose the last modified timestamp, and limit to the view of finished videos. If the record goes into this view, leaves, and then goes back again, it will not trigger the Zap the second time. That can be good or that can be bad depending on the behavior that you want. So keep that in mind, because let's say you're testing and you use the same record and you switch it back and forth between to do and done. It will only trigger for the first time that you do it. If you need to change that behavior and trigger it every time, there are some workarounds that you can find online. But for now, this is actually perfect because we only ever want to trigger it once. Now we go to ActiveCampaign as our action, create or update contact, okay? And you're not gonna fill anything out here except the email address. So the email, keep in mind this is coming from ActiveCampaign originally, so we're sure that this is the same email address. We'll put the video link into the onboarding video link, hit continue, and go ahead and test the action. And there we go, we have the link in the contact record. So let's go ahead and call this AirTable video recorded to ActiveCampaign and publish our Zap. We're ready to test. So what I'm gonna do is add myself to the automation again, and then I'm gonna record a video for myself. I'm gonna see if that notification to myself comes through and the ultimate email to myself comes through. So let's go ahead and add me to the automation. And we should see in our Zap history, as we do that, we should see this go through, which it did. So we see the record here. And now I need to check my email and see if I got that. Okay, here in my inbox, I have record video message for new client, Giovanni Seeger. Click this and I see the interface. I'm spotting a problem here. I can't actually paste the video link in here. So what I need to do is hit edit and make this, it was view only, hit it to editable and hit publish. And now we can actually paste that video link in. I'm going to record a video for myself, which probably won't work because I'm recording a video for you. Here's a video for you, Giovanni Seeger. Thank you. And we're going to paste that video link in here. Hit send video to client. Perfect. And here it is. Here is the email. We can click here's the video for you and it will bring up our video. Now that we finished the basic process, I want you to think for yourself how you can make this even better, how you can customize it for your business. There's a lot of different options. For example, you could create a template landing page on Webflow or Bubble or some other CMS that allows you to have a database create a page for you. And you could have this custom page where the client goes and sees the video and maybe has an option to schedule a call with you. You might be able to even use an Airtable interface in order to do this. You could work on creating an embed that includes the thumbnail to the video, and that's another way that you can make it even better. If you have a larger business and you want to delegate the video recording to different people, you could have an assign field with different collaborators in Airtable. I would love to see what you create with this tutorial, so leave it in the comments. Tell me what you created with this and your ideas for how to make it even better. Thanks for watching, and I hope this was valuable for you.